Hi, I'm Emily. I'm a technical solutions executive at Autodesk, and today I'm going to walk you through a demonstration of our mobile application for the Autodesk Construction Cloud, and specifically with this Autodesk Build, which is the project management, field management portion of the entire construction cloud. I wanted to start by saying that the Autodesk Construction Cloud application is available anywhere that there is an Android or iOS app store. So your iPhone, your Android phones, your tablets, anywhere that has one of those two stores, you'll be able to access our mobile application. Now let's get into it. In the App Store, you can search for the Autodesk Construction Cloud and our mobile app will show up. This is what the app looks like. You can see it has 4.7 stars out of 5 stars with over 20,000 reviews. So that is quite a lot. Once we get into the application, we are looking now at the Construction Cloud. I can go ahead and I can search for the project name, or I can look at the projects that I have. I have a certain number of projects that are saved actually to my device. So you can see here the ones that are saved to the device, as well as all the data that I have. So how much data that project is actually taking up. The projects that I have on the device, these are projects that I have stored up, ready to go. I can use them at any moment's time from my mobile application, whether or not I have service or Wi-Fi. I'm on a Wi-Fi only iPad. So if I don't have Wi-Fi on a project site, typically don't have Wi-Fi, I don't have access to the internet, but I can still access everything that I have inside of Autodesk Build. The awesome part about that is that all of my work that I am doing is being stored so that when I come back online and I sync up, everything that I do will push into the cloud. And everything that everyone else does in that time will push back down onto my device. So that means that I am pretty much close to real time almost all the time. I am only offline for the period of time that I'm truly offline. I don't have access to service. I can't do anything about that. And then I do have projects below that are in the cloud. I can access these anytime from a web browser. And if I want to, I can download those to the device. We're going to go ahead and work in this project here. And I synced it up a few minutes ago, so we're just going to skip that. Coming into the specific project here, brings me to a home page. I love this home page because here I have access to so many common things that I need. The drawing sheets that I was recently on, forms that I use every day, work status, so things that are assigned to me or assigned to the overall project, RFIs, submittals, issues that I need to be taken care of, as well as the ability to jump in and to take a photo right from the homepage. So that is awesome. We have everything so accessible for us here. I personally think that the sheets and the files are kind of the most important thing when it comes to a project. That's kind of the backbone. Everything really can be accessed from those two workflows. So we will start just really quickly with the files. Won't spend a whole lot of time here. Inside of the files, one of my favorite things is that we can actually take a look at our models. So we have the ability to view those models and grab information, key information off of those models. So I can take a look at this model here, see all of the issues that I have. We'll talk about issues while we're on the drawing sheets. But I can go ahead, I can measure here, I can see the properties, views that are built in, so I can fly around my models. That's really important, I feel like, for the team in the field to have access to those models. I have built so many buildings out in the field without a model, and so many things that I can think about would have just been so much easier for me if I had a way to 3D visualize and see it. And the sad part is that those projects that I was working on had models. I just, as a superintendent, didn't have any way to view those models. So with Autodesk Build, you have access to that. You can empower your team with those models. And the files, we have file storage for, PDFs, Word documents, you name it, any other documents. But obviously, the models is super cool and something that you're not going to find from another application. Moving into the sheets, I find this to be the place that most of the folks out in the field are going to spend a lot of their time living inside of the application. When you upload the drawing sheets on the computer side, it does break it out into each individual sheet for you. It labels them with, for example, this one that's highlighted, A114, fourth floor plan. It does all of that labeling for me. And where it says V5, that means I have 5 different versions of this drawing sheet. So it's also going to go ahead and find, when you upload it, all the other older drawings and put them together. So I like to call that kind of my little card, my little library for that drawing sheet. I have all of the history stored in there of every single A114 sheet that I have. It also makes everything searchable and filterable for you, so you don't have to spend time OCRing in another application. I know that that can be really time consuming, and I've spent countless hours of my time in the field with my computer just spinning OCRing in common applications that people use in construction. Like I mentioned, it's filterable, so I can filter by different version sets, by different disciplines, and I can also go ahead and search. So I can search for both titles of sheets as well as contents of sheets. So if I search something like stair, I can find everywhere that the drawing sheet actually has the word stair listed. So you can see here it's pulling up where it finds stair. So we'll move into this A114. It's going to bring me to the latest version of this drawing sheet. Another cool thing that it does is it hyperlinks all of my sheets. So when I click on the hyperlinks, it allows me to flip from sheet to sheet. So easy navigation. And then I can swipe left and right to go to different drawing sheets from there. So that's my easy way of just flipping through the drawings. And then I can always come up to this little clock and find my way back to where I started, which was at A114. Like I mentioned, this is my latest and my greatest drawing sheet. So this is the latest one that's been uploaded. To get to my older versions, I swipe up and now I'm on an older version. You can see there at the top, we've got this really nice bar that says you're on an old version of this sheet. And it gives me the option there to compare with the most current. So that's awesome that I have that at a click of a button to be able to run that comparison. And it'll pull out here the differences in red and blue. So there's not a whole lot of differences on these drawings, but you can see that there were some plumbing changes. There were some walls that were added in the elevator core. You can see in the men's restroom there that there are some changes with the fixtures for the plumbing. So a few different kind of differences between them. I love that sheet comparison. And not only can we do 2 different versions of the same drawing, but I can overlay any 2 drawings in the set. So if I want to put an architectural drawing on top of a plumbing drawing, I can go ahead and I can do that. Swiping down brings me back to the current sheet. On the current sheet, I have a bunch of different markups that you're seeing. So I have standard like text boxes, measurement tools. I've got my toolbar on the right that allows me to grab any of those items and go ahead and start working with them. You'll see that with the markups like my clouds and my call out text boxes, that there is a little link chain there. That means that I have something referenced. So references are things like RFIs, submittals, different items that I want the team to be aware of, and also that are linking things from one to the next. So it's how we are showing that this issue is in relation to this RFI, or this RFI is related to this change order. So it's my way of connecting all of those together, really telling that overall story of what is going on the project. If I click on that reference, it is a live link, so I can go ahead and look at this RFI. I can see here whose court it is in, what the question was, what the answer was. I have all of that right at my fingertips for everyone on my team to have easy access to and to be able to be aware of what is going on so that hopefully they are building off of what they need to be building off of. There's nothing like having the team go out and build something, think that they're building the right thing, but not realizing that there was an RFI there. And that's totally preventable with this application. So you can see here the whole RFI, and then we can see the references that are associated with this. So we have photos and videos that can be stored in here. We've got a nice little photo of my dog Tommy there. And then we've got any kind of files, issues that are associated with it, drawing sheets, meeting items, and agendas there. That way the team can have that insight into everything that they need. Some other markups that we have are our photo tool that allows me to purely pin photos down onto the drawing sheet. Personally, with kind of my experience and the way that I would use this is I use this for progress photos, or I used to actually take a 360 camera, put it into my rooms before I would close up the rooms with drywall, and I would take a 360 photo and have that so they had some backup as to what was in those walls in case something was missed, or case we needed to move something, there was a request to add something, just so that we had some documentation on what was there. I would store that into those photos and I would pin it down to wherever I need it on the drawings. Any photos that action is needed to be taken from it, a punch list item, work to be completed, maybe a safety issue, I would use our issues tool. So that is what all of these dots are on the screen. So those are our different issues. When I click on them, I can see the details inside of that issue. I can see the status, the type of issue, who's it assigned to, so on and so forth. The issues are categorized by the types. So that's where I can come up with my punch list items, my observations, design issues, safety issues. This is a customizable list. The statuses are also customizable, and so much of this can be templated from project to project. And here I can fill out any of the information that I want, put in dates, so I can set a due date, set my start date, and I can have different prompts based on what I need. And then I also have photos in here. I can use my camera, click on that, and it's actually going to allow me to go ahead and take a photo. This is sitting on my desk, so let's pull it off, and we can take a photo and give Tommy another little shout out here, and we'll add Tommy in. So now we have Tommy, we'll add him in, and we can also, if we want, we can go ahead and we can mark this up. So we'll give Tommy a little markup. Now I have that stored in here, and everything that I need for that issue. The coolest part of the issues is that we actually have templates. So if something is coming up often, painting punch lists, for example, or a specific safety item, things that come up a lot, we can create a template. When I do that and I pin that down onto the drawings, it's already going to have a lot of the information filled out for me. So it's going to have the description, who is assigned to, watchers, that I have associated inside of that template, and then I can fill out the rest of the information on the fly out in the field. So that's what I wanted to cover on the sheets. The awesome part about the issues and the photos, the things that I'm doing on the drawing sheets, is that they don't just live on the sheet. So those also are going to live in their respective areas. So inside of the issues, I can see that painting punch list item that I just quickly pinned down onto the drawings. And all of my issues live here. And then I can go ahead and I can filter that down. So I could filter down by a specific type of issue. And then I could also filter down by, so let's do all of my punch list. And then I could filter down by who it's assigned to. So we could look for all of the ones that are assigned to me. Looks like I'm really good at this, and I have just one punch list item and it's closed out. So props to me for not having a lot of things to work on. If I take that off though, I can see all of the different punch list items on the project. I could also go ahead and maybe look at the status. So I could look at all of my pending punch list items. So we've got a number of pending punch list items. If you need to, for any reason, all of this can be exported. So I can go ahead and I can create a report and have that produce a report for me, put that into a PDF document. The photos that we took on the drawing sheets, the photos that we had inside of the issues, those are also going to pull into the photos tab. So we have our photo again of Tommy here. We can take a look at, we can see the details for this. So we can see when it was taken and when it was added. And I have specifically turned my location off for this video so that it's not on the internet. But if I did have that on, you would be able to see the location on a map there of where that photo was taken. One of the other most commonly used things on the mobile is the forms. And this is where you can do items like a daily report, a JHA, timesheet, anything that you need. So a few different options here. We have our native forms, which are built inside of the platform, which is great for something like a daily report. So I can come in here, have it automate the weather for me, and I can add in my different crews that I have on site for the day, add in what work they performed. I also can add in materials and equipment, you name it, sign it, add in as well at the bottom, any of the issues, photos, files, things that came up for that throughout the day. So I have that all stored into my daily report. I like to use something like this in combination with this checklist that I have with true, false, yes, no questions. So I can kind of come up with my own form that I want my crews to be filling out or my superintendents to fill out. So, you know, maybe I want to add in there, in addition to the crews that are working for the day, were there any safety incidents? Yes, no. If there were, then I can have it automatically prompt me to put in some information around that. So I can add in a photo, an issue, or notes with each line item. And then the cool thing about these is that once you have it filled out, you can actually copy that form. So from day to day, I don't have to redo all of my daily or copy it like line item by line item. I can copy the whole form, and then I can go ahead and I can adjust what is actually being done. I was known for always being probably like a month to 2 months behind on my daily reports. And I think part of that was just how inefficient it was in the application that we were using to change over all my information from day to day with my daily reports. This also allows for multiple people to be doing a daily report. So if you have a large project and you have 5 superintendents, each superintendent can do their own daily report. Or if you want, they can all collaborate on a report. And there's review workflows that you can do with the forms. So the next form that we have is a smart PDF, which allows us to fill out a form on a specific letterhead. So this is great for if you have a team that is filling out something on paper and it's easiest for them to just continue filling it out the same way in the same format. You can upload in a smart PDF so they can fill it out on their mobile. It's also great for, in this case, if it has to be on a specific letterhead. So for the city of Honolulu, you have to turn in this BMP inspection form on their letterhead. You can't do it on your own. So you can fill it out inside of the platform. Anywhere that you have like text boxes, if it's like a larger text box, you can actually do the speech to text. So that is based off of your device that it is going to fill that out for you. And then we can add in photos, add in different items into here with the edit tool. With this one, we can also add in files and issues, photos that we did throughout the day, and have those stored into the form as well. So that was a little bit about our forms. We also have the specifications where this is just broken out from the files so I can take a look at each individual spec book item. Easier navigation for me to find what I need in the spec book rather than having to go through a 2,000-page PDF document. So those are kind of the most common workflows that I see people using our mobile application for. In the More tab, we also have access to our photos, RFIs, submittals, correspondence, schedule, assets, members, locations, the sync status, and meetings. So I have access to all of those. I can work off of them and see everything that I need for those. But I will save those for another demo video. But they are all there for everyone to have at their disposal. I hope that this demo video of the Autodesk Construction Cloud, specifically Autodesk Build from a mobile standpoint, was helpful for you. If you have any questions, please leave some in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I hope this was a helpful video from the Design Build ladies.